Well, welcome to another video. It's the 2nd of January today, 2nd of January 2022, and we're back in our peacock hunting spot. Now we're just doing our best to stay cool today. The temperature out in the sun's probably in the order of 28 or 29 degrees Celsius. I'm just trying to prevent myself from getting burnt. She's very definitely shorts and t-shirt weather. And of course, being in early January, we've come to check out our peacocks. Now, I haven't been in here for 6 weeks, and when I left them they were nesting. So I would believe that nesting has finished, and the hens and the tiny little chicks, if we come across any, they'll probably look like little balls of fluff. I would imagine that Mum will be keeping them out of the way of the hawks. The biggest danger to those chicks are hawks, so they'll be under cover, but Mum will be foraging, trying to get some condition back on again, having not eaten probably for nearly 6 weeks. The peacock males, the cocks, they will be out and about, but they'll probably be in bachelor groups because the hens probably won't want to have much to do with them. Anyway, today, because it's so jolly hot, what we're going to be doing is we're going to stay in the shade. Staying hydrated is going to be a bit of a mission. I've brought extra water with me today. And so we'll just sneak along in the shade and see what we come across. Well, it's very dry. The grass is actually really long, and I'll turn the camera around in a minute, you'll be able to pick up the wind that's coming straight up this gully. And despite the fact it's a nice breeze, it's not helping to cool down much. Anyway, I haven't seen any peacocks at all. I don't know quite what's going on just yet, but anyway, we'll turn the camera around and give you a view down this valley. Just woken him up. He's sleeping in the crook of the tree, mate. Only a little fella. He only a little fella. Alright, so I should actually give you a round. Anyway, that's not why we came in here. What led us in here with peacock feathers on the ground. surprising me a little bit. Well, it's been an interesting afternoon outing. Over my shoulder behind me, I'll just swivel the camera around a little bit more. There's a pond, and in that gully over there, it was wall-to-wall peacocks only a couple of months ago. And a big mob of hens actually out over here next to that tree, and there were juvenile cockbirds everywhere. The mature birds weren't that easy to spot, but they were around. Anyway, today's been really interesting because I haven't seen a damn thing. Well, I've seen turkeys and a possum. I woke up. The only other thing I've come across is lots of feathers. So here we go here. Most of them, these big long ones with the fishtail ends. Well, there's a few shorter ones there, but they're sprinkled all over the place. So I don't know whether or not that means that the molt has begun. I suspect it may have done. But where the birds have actually disappeared to, I've got no idea. It might simply be that the grass is that jolly long that they see me coming and pull their heads down. It might be as simple as that. Anyway, interesting afternoon out. Blazing hot sun. It's quite windy today, otherwise I'd be doing other things. And it's incredibly hot. I've stopped and had my third drink so far. It's also incredibly dry. The pond doesn't look, pond looks quite inviting over there. It looks damp, it doesn't look dry, but the ground's incredibly dry. Anyway, we'll work our way back home. Well, I'll just stop for a wee breather in the shade. And a drink. I don't know where the peacocks are, but I do know where they aren't. They weren't anywhere I was today. But anyway, some good news, I guess. The molt has started, or at least I think it has. So if you're one of those people that's interested in collecting peacock feathers for steampunk costumes or decoration or for whatever reason, here's just a little selection of the ones I've just picked up in the paddock. So that's a typical eye feather. Here's the ones I like. They're almost like a bluey, not too sure how you describe it, but green, and then you turn them they look bluish. These feathers here they normally have a crop of them down each side of the tail. And then of course the longest feathers, let's just pick one, a big long feather. Which one's, here we go, here's a big long feather, here's a big long feather, and they don't have an eye in the end. They look like a fish tail, which is kind of interesting, but they're the longest feathers. Anyway, if you're of a mind to be on the lookout for peacock feathers for whatever reason, I guess if you know an area where there's lots of peacocks, and I've found these predominantly underneath roost trees, now would be the time to get out and about and collect some. I don't know how long the molt actually lasts. I think it's actually started a little bit early. Anyway, I've got to head all the way up there to get back to my vehicle. Right the heck up there. That's my vehicle parked right up there. That's actually the boundary fence. To the right of that fence is the block that they've planted pines on. It was a beef unit with rich, deep, lush grass, and they've planted pines all over it, and they've had to relief spray it. And we might do a bit of a story on planting pines for the carbon price, whatever they I don't know how they get their money back for what they do, but evidently it's well worthwhile now to plant pines. You can earn more per hectare by just planting pines for the carbon than sheep, beef, and many other things. Anyway, we'll finish our water here and let the day cool down a bit before we tackle that slope. Boy, it's hot. Just stopping here in the shade for another drink. It's horrendously hot. Anyway, I've seen my first one today. I haven't fired a shot at him. In fact, I haven't fired a shot all day. But anyway, he was underneath those totras just over there. I'll zoom in. And I suspect that he was doing what I should have been doing today, finding a good place in the shade where it was nice and cool to have a snooze. Wait for the heat of the day to go by, come out in the evening to do your grazing. There's having lovely long evenings at the moment, so there's plenty of time. Anyway, these feathers, I might put them on Trade Me. I don't necessarily need them. One could say these ones were ethically obtained. I guess by ethically I mean that the owner didn't die for the harvesting thereof. These were just picked up on the ground after he molted them. Anyway, there's obviously in an area where there's lots of peacocks, you will find, no doubt, lots of molted feathers at this time of the year.